So good afternoon, everyone. After the lunch. Okay, so as this topic says a lot of things, primarily we are going to focus more on innovation, startups, entrepreneurship, given the nature of the audience that we have here. Just to check how many product founders we have here in this room. Great, some of them. But the one thing that we can see here, definitely many of you are capable to start a startup, or many of you would be thinking about starting a startup or already working on different research projects and all those things. Here, the people who are sitting over here on the stage is actually doing a lot of things on this topic, starting from the strategies, public-private partnership, creating this whole ecosystem, a very robust ecosystem. And when I say that, I take a step back and look back 2010, 2011. When I started this journey with Data Security Council of India, working with all the startups, and whosoever has raised hand here, many of them, I think, closely we have worked. So 2010, 2011, the number of product companies in the ecosystem was hardly 10, 11. Right now, we have more than 400 product companies in India. Almost 40x jump in slightly more than a decade time frame. But more interestingly, we keep talking about Israel, we keep talking about US, right, as a product ecosystem. Where we stand, there's no report as such, and officially we don't quote it, but in this group, if I say after Israel and US, India is the third largest product ecosystem in the world. We don't talk, probably my team is working on a research and hopefully soon we'll be publishing this report, and I'm hopeful that we'll be quoting this number, this fact as a fact in the report actually. So there we have reached in last slightly more than a decade of time frame, and the people sitting over here again, kudos to them for their efforts, and the whole ecosystem who came together to support this ecosystem took it to the altogether a next orbit. And, in terms of policies, in terms of initiatives that we have taken, probably while we will be discussing, we'll share some more stories around it, what we have done long back. But just one starting thing, today when we say proudly like 400 product companies, almost 50% revenue comes from outside. This is a global ecosystem. Many of the founders are already working outside India, taking our brand to the global forums. But when this kind of discussion happening, again, 2011, 2012 time frame, it was really a gloomy, doomy situation. There was nobody to adopt the product. There was no initiative or very minimum initiative to facilitate it. In terms of policy ecosystem also, things were shaping up, but not so great. Even going for the POC was a big challenge for a lot of startups and innovators around that time. And when we go to the researchers who are actually working in the academic institution, again, there was no as such ecosystem over there. So that was actual gloomy doomy situation. And I still remember it was 2011 Bangalore NASSCOM Product Conclave when we have hosted this meeting. This is what we have discussed over there because everything was kind of negative. Today when we sit in those forums, we really talk about how to move to altogether a new orbit, even not the leapfrog, kind of a pole vault that we can take, moving altogether a different orbit. So that is the level we have achieved. So with this background, we'll start here. And just to give a quick introduction, so Ms. Savita Utreja, coming from Ministry of Electronics and IT, she's heading the division of cybersecurity and the R&D in cybersecurity, which is actually funding a lot of research projects in academic institutions. And now we have enablement of even a startup and the company can collaborate with those academic institutions. So, and many other things that she's doing. Dr. Sanjay Bahl, like DG of CERT, various things he is doing in terms of even facilitating a lot of startups, a lot of research, and again, being the DG of the CERT, protecting from the incidents and managing all those things. And Anand, coming from GSTN, he's definitely going to share a lot of stories in terms of how this innovation is taking shape, how he's going to, or he is actually in the current role and his previous role, is managing such a huge infrastructure and at the same time enabling startups and innovators to come and support those journey. So, taking this discussion ahead, I'll request Savita ma'am to share some thoughts while she is working on the national policies to enable the ecosystem. When I say national policies, many of you probably would know, like, say, public procurement order, which is to give facilitation to Indian companies while you are going for a government procurement, or various such policies and initiatives like cybersecurity grand challenges going on, all those kind of things, which is a major step taken by ministry. What is the larger thought process you have, which is actually taking helping to take front phase in terms of defining those strategies and initiatives and the policies?
Thank you, Atul. Good afternoon, everyone. So, I am heading the cybersecurity initiatives at METI. And regarding the question asked by me, I would like to say, whenever we are framing any kind of policy, we have to have a very balanced approach, holistic approach, that what kind of regulatory provisions are there, what are the scaling and human resources are there, what are the R&D efforts being there. So it's a holistic approach, and when we are framing strategy to promote the R&D initiatives or to startups, like METI has funded the projects. We are taking up the R&D in great scale, and we are funding the academia. And now we are saying that with the academia, there should be some industry or some use case or some startup can be there with them, so that whatever solutions they are developing, it can be taken further. So that is one of the R&D efforts which we take. And then we have also established National Center of Excellence, where with the DSCI, that is in public-private partnership kind of mode, in which they are incubating the startups. So they have incubated about 146 startups. Then we have also launched Cybersecurity Grand Challenge, which is a great initiative by ministry, and it is launched right now on 15 January 2025 only. And I would like there are people who have founded certain companies, startups, researchers are there. So they should apply for that. That challenge is still on. The last date for applying for that is 10th March 2025. It is in different stages. Like there is an idea stage where they can submit their ideas and they can submit their innovative ideas. And we have given 6 problem statements. So you can submit your ideas against those statements. And at the end of idea stage, you will be given an award, whatever problem statements, whatever ideas are selected. So there will be an award of 5 lakhs. So there will be against each of the problem statement, like there will be a 6 problem statement. So 6 ideas will be chosen against each of those problem statements. So there will be about 36 entries which will be selected, and they will be given 5 lakhs for that. And after that, there is a minimum viable product stage, in which there will be further, out of those 6, now it will be shortlisted to 3. So becomes 18 then, and it will be 10 lakhs then. And after that, there will be 1 against each problem statement. So 6 winners will be there, and they will be given 25 lakhs each. And after that, there is a grand jury who will be selecting, and then there will be 3 winners, platinum, gold and silver. And they will be given 1 crore, 50 lakh, and then 25 lakh. So it is a great opportunity, and I think you people should try to, whosoever is eligible can apply for that grand challenge against the statement. So this is another initiative taken by ministry, like there is NCOE, National Center of Excellence, then this one grand challenge. And then we have a public procurement order for cybersecurity products, against which the preference is given to indigenous products. So that is another initiative by ministry. And further to this, whatever solutions are developed under the R&D projects, they can also go to a commercialization with the help of NCOE, like DSCI is taking those efforts. And we have METI Startup Hub also, which is promoting those cases. So that's from the METI side.
Thank you, ma'am. So definitely, I'll just add one more angle to this grand challenge. See here, if you are not a product startup, if you're not someone who has already picked up the problem statement, the first step where we face the biggest hurdle is identifying that problem statement. Now, if somebody is giving you the market-centric, market-relevant problem statement, your first and major hurdle is sorted, right? This grand challenge is one of those initiatives where we have gone with Ministry of IT. We have gone to hundreds of organizations, identified those problem statements, and out of hundreds of problem statements, reached out to those 6 problem statements actually. And another interesting, and again, thanks to Ministry of Electronics and IT, to agreed on this part that there's no strings attached, I'll say, frankly. There's so much flexibility, and almost 7 CR, precisely it is 6.85 CR is the prize money which is coming in from government. I don't see any other parallel such initiative where the prize money of this kind is giving away. Thank you. And interestingly, the prize money plus the kind of structure that is there, and it's a pure play prize money. Nobody's going to ask you like how it is being used. Definitely there are clauses, but there's no bureaucratic structure is placed. You have to comply with a lot of rules and guidelines, but again, it's a prize money that you are going to use it. But the first step, the problem statement, that is actually giving you that first step to take. That opportunity to take the first step, which is market-centric and moving in that direction. Moving with this to Dr. Sanjay Bahl, actually. In search of overall India, if you look at, we have made the significant stride in terms of our product ecosystem, innovation ecosystem. And especially the CERT, the kind of the incident and the infrastructure that we have and the incident that we are dealing with at the CERT level, given India's scale, collaboration with international CERTs and different forums, Dr. Bahl is also enabling adoption of a lot of technologies, because in the given scenarios, so many new kind of attacks are coming in, right? And our researchers and our innovators are solving those attacks. So here there's a need of adopting those new age companies. And in CERT, that's happening. We are adopting new age companies' solution, also facilitating them to improve. So I'll request Dr. Bahl to share more insights on that, how you are doing it, and what is there for, I'll say, the budding entrepreneurs to leverage it and come up with the new things.
I think most of the stuff already has been mentioned by you. So this grand challenge which was mentioned is the second grand challenge which is being held. There was one which was done earlier. And so when you have these hackathons, grand challenges, etc., CERT has been part and parcel of with different committees where we have been mentoring the participants who are participating in these hackathons and grand challenges. The sort of innovation that they come up with, we try and supplement that and mentor them with what issues they are going to come up with or what they have not yet thought of from a technology perspective. Also help and guide them as to what could be used from a platform perspective and how it can be better. Once they've come to a stage where it becomes a product and which is usable, of course I know of some of the people who are sitting here we have provided guidance and who have benefited from the guidance that we have provided. So, with that, they are able to not only give good solutions within the domestic market, but also take their product globally. And some of them have made a very big name today. Some of them are also sponsors here. So that just talks volumes from where they started and where they are today. Right? Having said that, as Atul mentioned, we also use these products within CERT India, and some of the projects that we have implemented require extremely complex software technologies which are not available from off-the-shelf products today. From various countries we have evaluated and we've seen what has been developed here within the country by our mentorship, etc., are far superior, far more agile, far more scalable, and are giving results that we have not seen from some of the other, products which are available in the market. So from that perspective, I think we have tried our best to provide the necessary support. And if some of you were there in the morning session, as I talked about the Cyber Swachhta Kendra, which is also complete public-private partnership model that we have embarked on. We deployed some honeypots also in public-private partnerships and all. But in the Cyber Swachhta Kendra, whatever is coming from the industry, we do provide samples of different malwares, etc., which they can incorporate within their own products to make sure that they are staying ahead of what is going to be available, etc., and they can compete accordingly. So I think those are some of the things that I just wanted to add to whatever you have already mentioned.
Sure, sir. And that's really a great contribution that CERT is making in terms of enabling this whole ecosystem, adoption as well as that facilitation, because that's actually
and also
phenomenal.
Whatever is there incubation center at DSA, I think we have been, Atul and Vinayak have been pulling us in there to give some guidance, etc., to various organizations who are there. Even selection of those organizations to be part of the incubation center, we have been part of the committees, etc. They've been kind enough to include us. So we have seen what sort of things are there, and we've given them guidance as to what additional they should be looking at, or where they are faltering, etc., and what could be used.
And thanks to again for this kind of support, because I know that given the kind of busy schedule the whole team has, I think from end to end, I'll say, especially the NCOE, National Center of Excellence that we are running with the support from Ministry of Electronics and IT, CERT is involved end to end, starting from conceptualizing of this initiative to running this initiative and taking them to the different stage. So across it is involved. So thanks for that. I'll move to you, Anand. Same thing. In the era of this new age threats, new age attacks, again, many times you need very specific solution for your organization. And given the nature of your organization, which is quite sensitive in nature, quite important for the country, when it becomes very important to adopt these new age startups and new age entrepreneur solution, may not be established in the ecosystem. Sometimes you face that some challenges in terms of rules, regulations, how you are managing things, and what's your suggestion? How can we navigate the show? Because that's going to give a lot of momentum to this whole ecosystem.
Okay, thanks. Good afternoon all. So when it comes to the adoption of startups, while government has their own share of enablement through policies, but on ground, say looking at, let's take example of GSTN. We are handling one of the most sensitive data and information, which any security breach to that information may have direct impact on the national economy. So while building and designing the security technologies and adoption of security technologies, so of course, Make in India or the startups, because a lot of innovation is happening in that space also. But when it comes to the innovation, by design our RFPs have a typical construct, okay, and it has got two parts, PQ and TQ. So most of the startup ecosystem at times they fail to qualify that PQ, right? And then as per the process, we cannot directly go in the market and procure. But we are also over a period of time exploring means and ways to work with them and leverage the innovations by those startups, if not in cybersecurity so far, but in other areas of GST regime, that a lot of startups are working with us. So we have enabled the ecosystem called as, we call them as SDA, Software Development Associates. So through them, we work on various initiatives in terms of the business analytics, where our more focus is on the ensuring the compliance, identifying the boundary cases, and minimizing the so-called tax leak leakage possibilities. Okay, so we are working with those ecosystem partners and say utilizing them. But I'll come to in terms of cybersecurity, where say while adopting the product, say I'll give one classic example where CERT-in was also involved. So we were planning to deploy a security technology, and there was a need to check the capabilities of that tool, and it was a very thorough exercise done by CERT-in and a CERT-in team. So whereby we actually induced hundreds of malwares on that particular tool and technology. I'll not I can't disclose the name of the product, but we actually were sitting in the data center and ingesting hundreds of malwares from various say repository of CERT-in, and then we were testing the capability of that particular tool, and it was learning. Say while that tool stood the test, but again the OEM with whom we were working, so they also got some innovative use cases to deploy, so that in the next subsequent patch cycles they release those things as a functionality or additional capabilities. So while the adoption of startups in cybersecurity is challenging, but I think it's a fair situation because CISOs in say critical sector, specifically like GSTN, we have a responsibility to maintain the security of the entire infrastructure and data, which has a very large impact, right? So the technology which is not tested or proven, if at all it gets deployed, and if any impact is materialized, then it will have a very large consequences. So that is one of the factor also which comes when we look at the innovative products. So we always wait for that product reaches to a certain level, or say a journey is there, maturity journey is there, and it reaches to a certain level, and then we try to adopt it. But nevertheless, we work with the startups on performing the POCs, and wherever possible, we also contribute back to them in terms of giving a fair feedback from the user community to enhance it further. So this is the way I think
definitely
it's beneficial engagement right now, while we want to leverage, but let's wait.
Sometimes even a POC makes a lot of sense for the early stage companies, because if they get that POC done, the kind of feedback they will receive from you, or while working with CERT kind of organization, the kind of feedback that the startup will receive or that innovator will receive, that is going to augment that product and the solution in a big way.
Right, because we have a complexity, we have velocity, we have volume,
actually
variety, we have most of the things available with us.
And if somebody is serving like a GSTN kind of an organization, probably automatically they can project it at a global level that this is what they are serving in. I'll come back to you in terms of enabling this, because that trust is required. Sometimes that enablement can be done and could be a better or extensive way of this enablement if you are doing the co-creation with the startup. I'll come back on that point, but meanwhile, to enable that trust, and there's one way, like a lot of certifications are available, global certifications, costly in nature. But do you think that having some sort of test bed, because of GSTN or any similar organizations are adopting it, they need kind of a trust on that solution? Do you think we should have some sort of test bed in the country for different solutions, where those solutions can pass through, or even benchmark, evaluate themselves? Good for them to evaluate and good for the organization to have a different level of trust on that. Your views on that, ma'am?
Yeah, METI will definitely support, and that is the requirement actually. Establishment of the test beds is the requirement for various solutions which are developed, so that before deployment they need to be tested for effectiveness and for evaluation, and also for the benchmarking, so that people, the citizens and the businesses, they develop trust in those products. So definitely that is required, and METI supports that, and that is done through various R&D projects in which we ask for that after developing the solution, they need to develop a test bed on which the testing can be done. And we are also thinking that how it can be a large scale adoption of those kind of test bed. So STQC is one of the organization under the METI, who is also working for the test bed for IoT and along with the CDAC. So we are in the process and we hope that there will be such kind of test beds in the country.
Sure, ma'am. And again, I'll come back to Anand on your point. See, test bed and similar kind of facilitation probably is definitely going to support the startup innovators, researchers to get through that initial checks done so that the people will have trust on it. But another way of enabling is the co-creation. And just not with the startups per se, but maybe the freelancers, the researchers, the academic institutions for that matter. In your experience, if you have done something of the similar nature where you have gone ahead, done some co-creation kind of development with the researchers, or your suggestions, primarily your suggestions and the guidance for the people over here, how we can enable it and how the budding entrepreneurs can leverage it.
Yeah, so thanks, Atul. As I mentioned earlier, that right now we are working with a lot of or few startups in terms of performing the analytics. Not in right now, not in security. We are not working directly with security, but we perform various POCs, work with them, explore the capabilities, and provide them feedback with an objective that, okay, whenever we now GSTN at this stage, we are coming up with various initiatives. So there is a potential that we may leverage those capabilities, if not in core GST system platform, but there is a supporting initiatives we are working on. So in one of those initiatives, we would leverage. At the same time, say in terms of researchers or academia, again for developing a particular solution against a use case which is more towards GST compliance or those things, we are definitely working.
Sure. And I think at DSA level, again, with the support from Ministry of IT, under National Center of Excellence, we are doing and taking a lot of initiatives in this direction, where one is the commercialization of the academic work, or typically the kind of a solution you have created, but you have not converted it in the form of a product. So converting it to a commercial grade solution, along with some industry members, all those kind of initiatives we are taking. So in case you have any such ideas, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to do that, because this whole effort is around that.
Right. I think I am also part of that initiative.
Correct.
So DSA has NCOE and Center of Excellence. They are built in and promoting a lot of startups in cybersecurity area. And we, from the industry, we sometimes work along with the startups as a mentor, as a reviewer, and or contribute in providing the use cases, different scenarios, and taking the products to the next level. So thanks to DSCI, at least giving us an opportunity to be there and experience the innovation which is happening within the country. And also DSCI, they are also putting efforts to bridge the gap between the startups and the consumers or consumer ecosystem or enterprise ecosystem, right?
Right. So, no, thanks to all of you actually, who is actually contributing there. So, means frankly, if I say, if we have reached out to any CISOs or any of the professional over here, definitely they are busy in managing their own shows, but I have never heard a no from their side to support a startup, to support this kind of initiative. So that's like definitely the strong ecosystem that we have created in last so many years of time frame. On that part, see another angle here. I know a lot of the VAPT people and the IR people are sitting over here. So what happens actually many times when a regulation comes in, and again, I'll connect back what you said. After that, I'll come to ma'am you in terms of the academic engagement, because that is something also we are doing. But on the regulation part, if I just double click and I'll take view from Dr. Bahl on that. See, it's wherever there is a new regulation coming in, a new law is coming in, many times we technocrats we feel that this is something not for me, it is for the lawyers, right? And then something will come out of, then I'll implement it with my solution or whatever I'll do. But many times, and especially in last couple of years, the kind of laws, regulations are coming in. For example, 28th of April 2022, the CERT India came up with 6 directions, right? If you remember, 6R reporting and all those things. All of those regulations, all of those guidelines, directions are opening up a scope for you guys to come up with new solutions. Because that direction that I'm talking about, that has opened or given up a lot of use cases for us to solve it. Because many of those things are not a kind of a simple legal kind of a thing, right? You have to manage it with the technology. And that kind of mindset is coming in from the government, having that techno legal kind of a thing coming in. So your views on that, how you have seen spanning it out, and definitely the third directions and all similar kind of directions coming in from regulators, the laws which are coming in is actually giving opportunity to innovators and researchers to come up with the solutions for those things. Your views and especially your suggestions to the community, how they should look at it.
Oh, thank you. I think this is critical because, it's that glass of water, whether it's half full or half empty. Now, if you look at it as only half empty, you're not going to be solving anything other than going loggerheads with someone. And if you're looking at it as half full and want to completely fill it up, you have a lot of opportunities to how do you fill it up. And that's what these directions that were issued on 28th of April 2022, 6 directions which were given, at least 5 of them have an opportunity to do a lot of stuff from an innovation and technology perspective. So while there was initial pushback from the industry saying, we are unable to do this, it is impossible to do whatever you are asking, etc. But I think after a couple of weeks and a few meetings and the understanding where we are coming from, when we met them again after a couple of months and then again after a few more months, they all say that actually it has helped us improve our processes. We've been able to use a certain amount of technology, come up with new technology and deploy that. And we really did not have end-to-end processes. We had broken processes. We realized that we were not doing things in a cohesive manner, and this has actually helped improve everything. And we are much more confident. So there were things like even from a virtual assets perspective, also from various other things. Now there are opportunities where you can start building products, innovate on them, and see how that can be done and how you maintain everything. Because as we go forward with AI, etc., things are going to be more complex. Apart from that, we've been, conducting a lot of cybersecurity drills and exercises for different sectors, for the different regions, for different states, etc. Now you need a platform for that. So we did go out to the industry and startups, etc. And because we had seen multiple platforms, but we're not very happy and satisfied with what we were seeing. We came up with a good platform. Someone said that we're going to be designing it, developing it. We gave them the mentorship. We got a very good platform. Today we use that platform for doing a variety of things, not only just capacity building, but also conducting these drills, exercises, etc. And just to give you an example, using this platform for as I said, for different sectors, for cooperative banks. Okay, now they have been having cybersecurity challenges. They don't have the necessary capacity of people who can take on these roles because they are thinly staffed. We were able to build their capabilities and capacities from zero onwards to bring them to a level where they were able to participate with some of the other large banks in these drills and exercises. And we were able to measure how they were performing. Not only this, this was a case study taken by the World Economic Forum and presented in Davos this year. So, bringing India to the global stage for cybersecurity itself is a big thing, and using these sort of platforms which we have developed and sort of innovations that have come up and the way we have designed these exercises. Because again, a lot of people across the globe are doing this exercise, but no one has a mechanism of evaluation of how do you see that how the individuals who are participating are actually improving and whether they are improving or not. Similarly, there are multiple examples. Now, if you see, we've recently published guidelines for smart cities, securing smart cities. Now, if you actually go through those, there are again different use cases where you will have opportunity to looking at it and providing solutions for smart cities. We've given an advisory on how do you secure and safeguard SATCOM. So if you are looking at providing suggestions, solutions on those, you can do those. We've also given, along with the ANSI of France and some of the other national agencies, how do you look at a risk-based approach for AI? So, there are various things that we've been doing, and these are all globally being recognized. And you should be able to come up with a variety of solutions and innovations for each of these.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot for that. As time is almost up, I'll pick up from what Anand was saying, and I'll come to Savita ma'am, you. In terms of this whole ecosystem, academia also, and that research, the academic research also plays a very critical role in this, right? Because that sets the base. And your division is funding a lot of research work, and a couple of years back, you have enabled that even a private sector can join hand with the academic institution and do that research work. So if you can share more, which is a major intervention that you have done, looking at the futuristic work and even solving the contemporary work in this direction. Few inputs on that, and probably with that we'll take your final views and close the session.
One thing just I would like to the earlier question also, METI Startup Hub is promoting the accelerators, and we are selecting the accelerators and they are selecting further startups. So that is a good initiative, and the accelerators can apply for that programs. I just wanted to add that. And they are providing the mentoring, they are providing the investors. So that is a good initiative which everybody should look at. And regarding this R&D, yes, we give call for proposals in which there are different situations, different problem statements which are given, for which the R&D institutes are required to submit the proposals. We have published call for proposal in November, and we had asked for solutions like VPN detection and de-anonymization. That is the problem which we are really facing. So we take up the statements, the ideas which are existing problem statement and which can be problems and which need to be faced in the future, and we need to work for the solution. And we also requested the R&D organization so that they can have one industry partner from the beginning, so that they can take up the idea further. It should not be left at only the solution stage, but it should also come as a product stage. So one of the projects like IIT has done, for which TOT has been done to IBM and one more company also, and there are certain products related to the edge computing which has been done by IIT Delhi. So that kind of solutions are also coming, for which TOT is being done, and they can take up the products further.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you for this. And one thing I'll add here, and I'm getting the indication we have to close this, but yeah, last thing here, even those problem statements which we have under this call for proposal, those problem statements are quite relevant for the ecosystem and the industry and the larger government entities. Here, again, this whole journey of the development goes through a very thorough mentorship by the veterans in the domain. There's a kind of a group of steering group that gets set up, and they sort of drive a lot of things under that. They nurture the whole journey. So that is actually contributing a lot. With this, can I take 2 minutes? Actually, we have Asim here on the grand challenge. I don't know, many of you know that. Exploiter was the first runner-up of the cybersecurity grand challenge last time. So would you like to say something to motivate them? Because many of them would be interested in applying. Can you say a few words like how this journey can help navigating the show?
Yeah. So, okay. So first of all, I had no plans of applying. Absolutely no plans of applying because I thought it was another government initiative. So he poked me and he said, "Hey, you should apply." I said, No. It's going to be a waste of time. He said, "No, apply." So I applied and then we were the first runner-ups. The good things were that we could, it was, in stages. So, we had some ideas, then we developed something, then we had a panel who we could, give demo to and then take their feedback and then go to the next round. So it helped in both ways for us in terms of rapid development, and at least we got good handsome amount of money at every stage. So it was not just who's going to win will get the final amount, but it was like if you clear stage 1, you get some amount, then you clear stage 2, you get some amount, and then the first 3 will get some amount. So it helped in terms of rapid development and rapid feedback from the jury as well. And of course, who does not love money?
Thank you. Sorry? Okay, sure. It's still on. So thank you. Thanks, Asim. And now we'll wrap up this session. We'll be available for further discussions. Last thing that I'll say, and initially what I was saying, the situation that we had in 2010, 2011, it has significantly changed. Now you have ecosystem, you have your peer founders who are actually now veterans in the domain. They are there, and a lot of people are sitting over here actually, you can see, including Ajit, Shombaran, Karmish are here. They're actually ready to support you guys in your journey. So my humble submission and I'll say I advocate that to take that plunge, start something, because if you are working in say services, definitely services are an important thing. But if you want to convert that whole learning, what you have during those services ecosystem working from last couple of years, convert in the IP, convert into the product, that is actually going to give you that momentum, right? Actually momentum to you as well as for the ecosystem. So with this, I'll stop here. You have a lot of support system. Feel free to reach out to any of us on their behalf. I'm saying that because I have seen they're always supportive of that. So feel free to reach out. We'll be more than happy to support you. With this, thank you. Thank you, Team Nullcon, for setting it up. Thank you.